Okay, right now it's 3:22 in the morning. 3:22 a.m. And I just had the most terrifying, awesome dream. I'm still shook from this dream. First, let me tell you, Jesus is real and he can save you and he will save you if you call on his name. So, here's the dream. I was driving my wife's truck. This is a dream. I was driving my wife's truck. And I had dropped them off probably at home or somewhere. I dropped them off. Shortly after I dropped them off, I was driving and I didn't know my way. So I looked down at my phone. It wasn't long. I was looking at my phone. I don't know if it was GPS, trying to look at my phone for a second or what. By the time I looked up, I was driving my wife's truck, a Ford Explorer, off of the road into the ocean in a split second. The ocean was gray and it was waves. It was in a construction area. So it was in a construction area, so there was no more road. I drove off of the road into the ocean. I don't even know how you do that. But in the dream, that's what I did. I had no time to react, zero time to react. And I drove straight into the ocean. As I was driving into the ocean, there was some construction going on. As I was driving into the ocean, the truck sank to the ocean. It was sinking. It was sinking. And it filled with water. It filled with water. And I just knew in myself, I'm a goner. Like, I'm gonna die. I knew I was gonna die. And then something in me told me to fight. Like, so I was like, I'm gonna try to get out of the car. Let me tell you, if you in a car and it fall in the water, the pressure is so strong that it is impossible to get out of the car. It is impossible. I watch movies and I always wonder, like, I would probably be able to get out of the car. It's impossible to get out of a car that's sinking to the bottom of the ocean when the windows are let up. It's impossible. So I try to push the car and hit the window. It was pointless. It was actually, you couldn't get enough. And by that time, the car was filled with water. It was filled with water. So I'm like, I'm about to die. I'm about to die. And then I started, and then in my brain, someone's like, call on Jesus. And I'm like, and I don't even have a breath to call on Jesus. I can't even call on him. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I can't even call on Jesus. I know he can save, but I can't even call on him because I don't have a breath. I cannot even speak. I'm in the ocean. But I did. I called on Jesus. I was like, Jesus. And whatever, I didn't say it because I was sucking in water. I was drowning. So I called on Jesus. All of a sudden, this crane that was in the construction area just so happened. I seen it. It started trying to grab the car. And the car was like rolling in the ocean. Every time it hit it, it'll miss it and it'll roll. And I was like, I'm running out of breath. I was like, whoever's operating that crane, he about to save me, but he can save me, but he kept missing the car. Every time he hit the car, boom, the crane would hit the car and the car would roll in the ocean. It would miss. Then it'll go back away and try to get it again. Boom, it'll hit it and it'll roll. And I was like, well, I'm gonna just take my last, this is it. I was thinking about my kids. I was thinking about my wife. I was just thinking, I was like, well, I'm not gonna live. Right? This is what it was. Then all of a sudden, the very last time the crane goes up, and it came and it grabbed the car, bro. And it latched onto the car and it lifted the car out the water. And it pulled me out the depths of the ocean. This crane pulled me out the depths of the ocean. And they saved me, and then it was crazy because the people that was in the dream, they were like, they were angels, but they had, now that I'm thinking about it, they had to be angels. Like, they rescued me out of it, and they were just so peaceful about it. And I was trying to explain to them, like, what happened, like, what had happened. Like, oh man, and then I sat in the room and I was just waiting. I would just sit in the room and waiting. And they like, we're gonna call your wife and kids. And then my wife and kids showed up, and I was just so happy to see them. I was so happy to see. I thought I was gonna never see them again. I knew I died. I knew I was like, I was never gonna. And I seen them, and I was just so happy. And my wife was looking at me, and my kids, they didn't really say much. And I was just trying to explain to them, like, what happened? Like, how did I make this but mistake? How did I? And they were just happy to see me. I was so happy to see them. And then this dream keeps going. And I never really got to explain it to anybody, but different people started showing up. Different people started showing up in my dream. And then, I was like, I'm going to finally get to explain to people, like, what happened. It was people in my dream that I never seen before. There was two dudes. One was in like they had urban clothes on, like Timberland boots, like, that was gathering around, and I was going to get to tell them, like, what happened. Like, the news, everybody want to know, like, how do you feel now? What happened? People want to know. And I sat at the edge of the table. I sat at the edge of a table. I sat on the table. I finally gathered myself together, man. I sat at the edge of the table, and I sat up edge of the table like this. As soon as I did that, I woke up. I woke up from the dream. But the crazy part is, the whole time I'm in my bed sleep, I didn't even know I thought I was already awake. Then when I woke up, I was like, woke up from, it's so weird. I woke up from a dream that I thought the dream was real. I thought I was already awake. So when I woke up, I was like, it wasn't real. So I was laying in my bed and I looked over at and so I came right down immediately and recorded this video because I'm going to share it to somebody. I don't know who this video was for. I know who it's for. It's for those that are lost, who's on their last breath. It's for those who feel like they're not going to make it. It's not, it's your mistake. It's your fault, ultimately. But it don't matter how deep you go. God can reach down and pull you out from the depths of the ocean where there is no breath to breathe, wherever your situation is. God can reach out and save you. All you got to do is call on Jesus, and he will save you right on time.